Hey, friend. Ooh. Hey, friend. Hope you're having a great week. Something a little different today. I'm going to do a raw, unfiltered, raw dog update of community, a personal update, and provide a lesson of the week at the end. Something that's changed my life this week, and I'm keen to share with you. Now, this is a little bit different for me. All of my short form content, my podcast, it's all edited. And I rarely just sit down for 10 minutes and chat. So I'm keen to be vulnerable with you and go through this challenge with you. So firstly, I'll provide an update on community. Now that's the Village, which is the online community, the Facebook group that we've created, and it's up to 124 members, which is really exciting because it hasn't been advertised to this point. So everyone's been able to find the Village through the blog. I'll basically have put a link at the bottom of each article, which means that the people in there are genuinely people who have resonated with the content to the point where they've read it and they've gone to the extra efforts of joining, which is really exciting. And the cool thing is now we have moderators in the Village, which are people helping me out by posting discussions and filtering new members. And big shout out to these guys because they're doing an amazing job. Margot, Gio, John, DJ, Mel, and Amanda. Thank you so much for your help. You've been kicking butt and it's been so nice connecting with you guys and growing it together. Update on the podcast. I looked it up this morning. It's number 84 in relationships in Australia, which is really great validation for me because a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago, I decided to experiment by focusing more on dating and relationships. Obviously, that's what all my short form content's about, my dating skits. And it's something that I love talking about. It resonates with people. So I thought, look, let's try just focusing a few episodes on this, see how it goes, and then we can go from there. So to see that it is bumping up the charts might be an indication to me to focus on that niche, or at least dedicate more episodes to that. So with that in mind, we've got a really exciting guest on this week. Her name is Chloe Mascord. She's an intimacy coach. And I haven't spoken to anyone in her field before. She has a lot of advice on how to boost your libido, which I found fascinating, but also how we can approach conversations with our loved ones around sex. And in a lot of relationships, there's different expectations around sex. Usually one partner wants it more than the other. And Chloe provided some really interesting insight on how we can approach those conversations delicately without pushing our partner away. So that's really exciting with the podcast. On Instagram, I've got a new skit, which is called Toxic Date Translated. And basically it's two, less conscious people on a date, and we get to hear what they're thinking. So it was a technical challenge for me because I had to do a lot of work in post to get the voiceovers right. When I was filming it, I had to make sure that I left enough room for the voiceover. So it was a real challenge. It took me more time than I'm going to admit, but I'm really happy with it. And we've got it with content. So often we can fall victim to the algorithms and to the pressure of being consistent. But when you do a project or a piece of content that makes you proud because it was hard work or because you pushed yourself creatively, it's such a great feeling of satisfaction that the results become irrelevant. And that's where I got to with this one. So I've been walking on a cloud today, and it's cool that it's being received well as well. It's just a little bonus. So I'll let you in on my marketing strategy here. And it's not rocket science, it's pretty common, but at the top of the funnel, which is basically an old marketing term to describe how audience can be funneled from awareness through to conversion. At the top of my funnel is the short form skits, and that's where you bring eyeballs to your page. Something like a dating skit is perfect because it combines education and entertainment. And I'm lucky that mine sometimes go viral, which is a great opportunity to raise awareness and build new audience. And then you'll probably see in a lot of my skits I use a tool called manychat.com, and that's where you can say, look, comment power in the comments, for example, and I will DM you a link to my blog, or I'll DM you a link to my podcast. And that's a clever way of funneling people from your short form towards your long form. And that's where you can really start to build community. And now that I'm focusing more on relationships and dating in the podcast, there's real synergy between that and the short form content. So I'm stoked on that. Now for an honest personal update. Again, feeling a little vulnerable here, so please bear with me. So on Sunday, we had the City to Surf here in Sydney, it's the largest fun run in the world. 90,000 people run from Sydney City to Bondi Beach. And it's a really great event because it's usually at the end of winter, and it's like the turning point between winter and spring. The sun is out, people are out in force, everyone's got a smile on, and the energy and atmosphere in Bondi is incredible. I didn't run this year. I decided I've been focusing more on weights after I ran the half marathon a few months ago. So I'm trying to build some strength back and put some muscle back on. But my beautiful girlfriend Zoe ran, and I was able to bask in her glory. We went to the bowls club after and had drinks with friends. And it was significant for us because it's been a rough couple of months. Nothing too serious, but the weather in Sydney over the winter has been pretty grim. It's been rainy, it's been cold, colder than usual. And the market has been down. We've been great, but it's just been a bit of a slog last couple of months. So it's Sunday, to have the sun out, to have the smiles and seeing our friends, was a really great day. So I'm stoked on that. Like I mentioned, the market has been down a little bit. So for me, full disclosure, a lot of my income comes from brand deals. And when the market's down, people aren't spending on marketing, so brand deals go down. And there's either two ways you can look at that. If you're a content creator, you can feel powerless, you can feel bummed out, you can get negative on it, and you can be the victim. Or you can take that as an opportunity to look at your setup, look at your business, and think, look, how can I improve this so that I'm not relying on ad dollars, or I'm not relying on some company to see me and to decide to spend money on me? And that's when you build your marketing funnel. That's when you start your podcast or do your blog and try and take some of that power back. Because when you are able to build passive income streams through things like YouTube, even Substack, you're less reliant on influencing brand deals. And that's what you have to do these days as an online creator. Create lots of different passive incomes, or at least revenue streams, so that you're not too dependent on one income source. So that's what I've been able to do the last couple of months. And on one hand, it has been tough, but on the other, it's been such a great growth period because I've been able to improve my systems, knuckle down on the content that I want to create, and improve that marketing funnel that I just spoke to. So I'd want to share with you who's inspiring me at the moment, or something that's inspiring me. And who comes to mind is a YouTuber called Jai Howard. Now, he's built a business called Art of Mondays. Look it up. It's really inspiring stuff because he's an early 20s entrepreneur and creator. And he actually gave me the inspiration for this series because he not only does he sit down once a week and provide an update, but he also lets you behind the curtain of what he's doing. And it's really inspiring to see people build online. And that's part of the motivation today. So look Jai up. His content is all about creating a life that you desire, doing something a little bit different, stepping outside of the mold, quitting the 9-to-5, building an online business. And it's really cool to see young Australians champion that message. Inspiring for me because, we get so caught up in the day-to-day that often we don't dream big. So when you see someone like Jai dreaming big and working overseas and taking action and steps towards his goals, we can use that to funnel our dreams or to build our energy and to build our frequency. And I often think with content, you have the ability to brainwash yourself, right? You get to choose what you are being influenced by. So choose people like Jai because ultimately they're going to inspire you and make you work harder. So check out Jai. I'll put his link below. Seems like a legend. Now, life-changing value for the week. So this is the lesson of the week that I want to pass on to you. What came to mind for me is my recent conversation with Thomas Malucelli, a friend of mine who came on the podcast to talk about relationships. And Tom is someone who's done the work with dating and relationships. And I asked him in the podcast what advice he'd have for someone who's single and wants to work on themselves and attract their dream partner. And Tom's advice was to be the person you want to attract. It sounds simple, but so powerful. When you're single and you want to attract someone who's healthy, someone who is self-aware and conscious and making healthy choices, it's really unlikely that you're going to attract that person if you're fat and eating McDonald's. You need to be the person you want to attract. And that goes for everything. So I'll leave it there. Have a great week, guys. I hope you enjoyed this format. Let me know if you did in the comments, and I will be here next week, back on the couch. Peace.